Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is about sanity. A lot of people have famously heard that, Trump wanted to make America great again. This is problematic for more reasons than you think that it is. The main reason it's problematic is that America and every nation like it, and every other nation that ever had that problem, was never righteous. America was never righteous, it was never great, and as a group of people, it was never sane. Again, America as a country was never a sane place. Ever. Now, some of you know immediately, more or less, at least, why I'm saying this. Some of you are too proud to understand why I'm right. I also want to make a distinction here real fast here. Okay, the vast majority of ethnic groups, basically almost all of them, and in a sense all of them, with the exceptions of individuals, okay, were all insane and are all insane. So what is sanity, right? Sanity isn't, hey guys, I go to this church and they told me this, or, you're being an atheist or agnostic. Sanity is when you're willing to accept reality and live by the logical assumption. Like the most logical assumption is that morality exists, right? Morality is a play on words for more reality. They've done studies and they found that when people are more morally intense, that their judgment improves. For example, say you're watching TV and you're like scatterbrained. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. And then your kid does something wrong. And, they say, hey, stop playing with that. And you're trying to stop them from doing something wrong. Now imagine you're trying to get them to do something wrong instead of stop them. In both states of mind, you're like focused, but you're more focused and your brain works better when you're trying to stop them from doing something wrong. And so many people have noticed this. And if you study it, and people have, you see that that's the case. So the more the brain is kind of in accord, in tune with reality, the better it works. And that is a key part of sanity. So America was, massacring Native Americans, railroading people, enslaving people, gentrifying people, segregating people, just abusing them 10 ways from Tuesday, raping them, trying to make them gay, trying to force them to be Christians, just on and on and on. Like a zillion different denominations, but they're like, hey, you have to be a Christian. You have to pick one, right? That's crazy. That's insane. It's like a bunch of people arguing that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, and you have to pick which wrong answer that you're going to commit to and live by and teach your kids to live by, or you're going to be punished. Now, why do I say it's a wrong answer? Because they all interpreted it wrong. They all had the wrong order. They didn't have a moral order. God is the author of order, not disorder, according to their own book. But yet they insisted on an immoral order. So they're basically saying something that makes sense. Number one exists. The number one exists, yeah. But 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3 or 2.5 or 500. And so they kept coming at people. You have to see it this way. Then there was these cults who were like, hey, I see it your way. And there's these occultists, right? These pagans and atheists. And they were crazy too. And if you don't understand that I'm right about this, look at the environment that it created. Look at the wars that were fought. America, just like all of the Western countries in Western history, and any other nation like them, any other country like them, never fought a single justified war. If Freddy Krueger takes on Jason Voorhees, is it a justified war? No. They went over there as a racist country, an exploitative country, a country full of rapists, a country full of greedy people, poor people with their heads down, rich people smug and feeling evil. Every once in a while, some rich chick kills herself because her husband's cheating, or he beats her, or he's coercing her, or whatever. They were never in the right. Two wrongs don't make a right, even if they fight against each other. And one of them is more right than the other. They're still both wrong. And so it is with insanity. When they see some crazy person, a drug addict, acting up at the park, acting crazy, withdrawn from drugs, what have you. Maybe they have a mental disorder. Maybe they're just withdrawn from drugs. And they go lock them up and put them in the psych ward. That's a crazy person putting another crazy person in the psych ward with a crazy person scale. So when we look at martial arts, what's the difference? Martial arts are lifestyles. When you're practicing martial arts, when you're trying to be the top martial artist like I was, and I became the top martial artist ever possible, thanks to God. And living in reality, thanks to God. There's no, hey, this scripture says this. Or, hey, Mr. Miyagi said this. Or, I'm from this race, and that's going to mean that I'm going to win no matter what. That's not how it works. The only way to be the top martial artist ever possible is to build character and to live in reality. Martial arts is a hard teacher. If I'm fighting somebody in a street fight or something, and they start throwing blows at world record speed, maybe not world record speed because I'm the one who throws blows at world record speed. Okay, and they're throwing blows quickly, and I'm dodging, I'm responding very fast. I'm blocking as fast as I strike. And I'm block, and I duck, and I bob, and I weave, or whatever. I use footwork, whatever. And I use some techniques that reflect my genius. Okay? If I have some kind of delusions in that situation, it's going to come back to haunt me. Because the only way to strike faster and more effectively than everyone else is to be smarter than everyone else. First of all, I've committed to the path of the genius, the most brilliant of people, which is martial arts. It's not being a mathematician or a physicist. It's not being a software engineer. I've met countless software engineers. They're not that smart. I've met countless scientists and doctors. They're not that smart. It is martial arts. The Lord is a warrior, God, all good, all knowing, all powerful, the essence of wisdom. And how is he revealing himself? As a warrior, the Lord Almighty, the mighty one, holy warrior. God is a man of holy war, of mind, body, soul, spirit, warfare, which means martial arts warfare. So, as we really look at this situation and we ask ourselves, what's going on? What do we find reliable? The word reliable is like the word reality for a reason. And the word morality is like the word more reality for a reason. And every one of you knows on some level that when you think of the idea of being intensely moral in reality, regardless of faith or philosophy, intensely moral in reality, you know that idea is more powerful than simply being some kind of lukewarm person or trying hard and praying to God. God desires your sacrifice of sacrificing the things that would keep you from being moral to be moral. Not your prayers or the quote-unquote good intentions of the lukewarm. That is the reality of the situation. And we see that in the Abrahamic faiths as well. Elijah proved his point not by reading scripture, but through moral intensity and the figurative miracles that were being described as he conquered the prophets of Baal. God kept telling the Jews, I want you to behave in a moral manner. Isaiah 58, Hosea, Micah, on and on and on. He said, do the right thing. Jeremiah, stop misbehaving. Do the right thing. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The greatest commandment, love God with all your being. And the second greatest is to love your neighbor as yourself. By just feeling that way? No, by your actions. The mark of the beast, right, has to do with your forehead and your hand. And we see those who do not have good deeds are being described as beasts that perish. See in 1 Corinthians 1:18, it says, for the message of the cross is foolishness for those who are perishing. But for those who are being saved, it is the power of God. Psalm 49:20. People who have wealth but lack understanding are like the beasts that perish. Psalm 14:1. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. Their acts are vile. There is no one who does good. Right? They said, let he who has wisdom calculate the number. And the number is the number of fools. The guy who's wise calculates the number, understands it, and says he's going to do the right thing. The mark on his forehead, the mark on his hand for the works of God.